Okay. Back once again. Oh, I gotta do one thing. I need to have this here. Okay. We made some pretty good progress this morning. I feel like we did. It's like, did you have a good day? Does it really matter if you did? It's the question is, did you think you did? Perception is reality. All right, so we're going to use the strong tone, which I was really happy with how it behaved. Elias. What's up, Ben? Fergus. What's up, man? Happy Monday. You're only time you're allowed to say Happy Monday is when Monday's over. Or you're one of those people that's retired. Shake lightly. Why don't you want me to shake it? Oh shit! This is the new one. Oh well, I guess we'll try the new one. You paying them? Yep. Yeah, the lighting here sucks for you guys. Yeah. One of many. And I found another one in the damn garage. So now I'll have 5. I'm not, when I'm done with these 4, we're going to stop for a little while. Do something else for a while. You thought they were just models like they were already made? No, there's no point in that. No. Oh. No, those people that just collect things. Like people that just, what do you do? I just collect Matchbox cards. You do anything with them? No, I don't even take them out of the package. I'm like, no, that's. No, at least take them out of the package and go vroom vroom and, move them around and stuff, Quick cue. Do the Old Glory. Yeah, you got to keep me on my toes or I'm going to forget this 15 millimeter stuff. Do the Old Glory 15 millimeter packs tend to have more poses than what is shown on the sites? Since some show 15 different poses and others show 2. That's a damn good question. Well, the packs that have 15 different poses usually have 15 different poses, but they may only have like one in one pose and a bunch of different ones. And they're not proportional at any rate. Give me an example. Make me go find a pack and I'll tell you if it's one that I've gotten. You could ask them, but I don't know that you're going to get a right answer from them. My gut instinct is if it shows only 2 poses, you only have 2 poses. That's my gut instinct. And I know it doesn't make sense that why would some figure packs have 15 poses and some have 2? Although I can't recall any Old Glory pack that would have less than 4 poses. But why would somebody that's smart enough to run a business and pay their taxes and come up with a website not be smart enough to take pictures of all their stuff and post it online? Like, dude, man, how are people going to buy your stuff if they don't know what's in there? I only have one problem with Old Glory. And Old Glory has, I think, a couple different sculptors. I think. And I don't know who they are. But one guy has a thing for cheekbones and bug eyes. So if you like, what's that company that everybody went gaga for? I didn't. Corvus Belli. If you're a Corvus Belli fan, some of those guys are Corvus Belli-like. Anglo-Saxon Jutes medium infantry have a ton shown, but Berber infantry show two. I bet the Berber infantry only have two poses. Some of those Berber infantry packs suck. Let's see. Old Glory. You could ask them, but they're not going to give you an answer. We're too busy. Where are they? Old Glory Minute was. It must be under 19th century. Yeah. Go to the shop. And like they sell rank and file, and rank and file doesn't show all their pictures of all their stuff. Like how the hell are you gonna get people to buy stuff? Oh Glory 15 millimeter. Oh, this website's terrible. This website's terrible. Like should show it by okay, like this 10th, 11th century guardsmen. Okay, these are obviously Varangian guard guys. It shows three poses. They probably only have three poses in them. Why do they have this way? They used to have like a pull down menu or something where you could search by. Oh, there's only 123 pages. I should have no problem finding that. That's just trash. Let's go Berber. Berber archers. Not the only thing that's Berber. Berber cavalry, no photo. Thanks. Berber spearmen, it's probably just those two it's probably those two poses. I hate to tell you. Berber infantry Andalusian. The Andalusian Arabs from Old Glory don't have a lot of variety. I can tell you that. I'm not impressed with them. You're better off getting them from Essex. The Essex guys are better. AA6 and AS. Okay, so should be able to do a Google image search. AA6 Old Glory images. Nope. Old Glory miniatures 15 millimeter AA6. Oh, and if you ever want to do their samurai, don't get their samurai. I'm not a fan of theirs. I'm coming up empty-handed with that. Maybe Lucian. Oh, this guy. This guy. I don't remember. I remember this guy. Well, I don't know how long you were around DBA for a long time, but this guy was many years ago. He has this website called "An Hour of Wolves and Shattered Shields," and he painted some things for like the first time in his color in his. And I really liked his painting style, and then I realized he kept using the same style of painting all of their figures, regardless of the same colors, regardless of what they were. Um, I'm not getting any images on that. Old Glory, 15 millimeter handle. Okay, how about let me do this, And let's just do it all. Okay, Andalusian, okay. Arab archives. This is like whole fucking armies. We don't want that. Andalusian Arabs. Yeah, this listing is terrible. Like, it doesn't even tell you what code it is. See if I click on this, if it tells me. AA06, I wouldn't get those guys. I wouldn't get those guys. These two guys are probably fine, but they got a couple things that are going wrong for them. Okay, first of all, it's awfully coincidental that all these guys are using as skirmishers. Yes, we did not use the PS word. Skirmishers have no facial hair. Okay, that's weird. Second of all, they've got these shields that are completely flat with no center boss, and it's very hard. It's very strange to find Spanish or even Islamic armies that have shields without a center boss. It's really, really weird. I'm not a fan. Now, this set, and I have this set, have some commanders that are pretty cool, including this guy. This guy's pretty cool looking commander. But this, you can't tell here, but this guy's a weird figure. He's got a wide face, he's got bug eyes, and he's got a jaw that could, bite the head off a turtle, And this guy's assistant, he looks very much like he's from India. He's not a bad figure, he's just a heavily cheekbone guy from India. But like this guy's a good figure. That guy's a really good figure. But that's the command. What was the other one you said? AA6 and AS3. Okay. I have to go in here. What's this? AAO2. Okay. That's not that one. What was the other one? AS3. Yeah, like this light cavalry sucks for them. You literally, with all the variety you got all these guys don't have a center boss. They all have the same shirt that almost has like a little, it's like a Henley. They're wearing like a little Henley that has the thing comes down to the center and then comes back up. With all the variety they could have, they have figures that just, like the sculptor got lazy. I'm not a fan. I seem to remember Old Glory 15mm isn't too big compared, they mix just fine. They're a little bigger, but they mix just fine. Maybe try the Timecast site. Way better organized. Okay. Timecast. Yeah, you don't want to order them from the U.S. anyways. That'd be cost prohibitive. Old Glory 15s. That 15mm Old Glory site did not used to be poorly organized like that. Ancient Medieval Dark Ages. Here's where we're going to find Andalusians. Andalusian Arabs. AS3. Oh, that's under Anglo-Saxon. You can always ask me about figures, man. I love doing this shit. I love doing this shit. And I've bought a lot of these. Like, I've seen them like Anglo-Saxons and Jutes. AS3. Okay. Medium infantry. Yeah, these have a nice variety of guys with some helmets, guys with some shields that are with center bosses. This is a nice set. A couple of these poses I can tell they're going to be kind of dorks, But you're not going to have a ton of them. You're not going to have this is a 24 figure pack. You're going to have a nice variety. That's a really nice variety. And even this set right here, which these guys are archers. Is this Andalusian? This is the same set as my Spanish Normans. I got these guys from somebody. These are really nice. These are nice figures. Actually, those might be Bowman that are the same figure. I didn't think that Old Glory did that, where they packaged different figures for different people of the same poses. My Armenians are these figures, and they're actually really nice. I think they are. I really like their Normans. I really like Old Glory's Norman cavalry. The Italian Normans are kind of dorks. Dork-looking figures, a couple of them. I love Old Glory horses. I do. These horses look like they'll run you over and they'll just pave you. Now, I know a certain somebody who went on a tirade about Norman horses should be the size of ponies. And that may be, but it doesn't look right. Ordering from the U.S. in that situation would be picking the whole same result, but self-inflicted. Yeah. Yeah, the very first figures I picked in 15 millimeter were these El Cid Normans. They have, I like them, but I like to mix everything. I like to mix everything. So, the biggest problem with Essex is that sometimes they give you too much of a blank canvas. And the examples that are shown painted on their website, I think they would be better off if they didn't show them painted. They're not painted great or anything like that. So, if you're not a painter, you might be like, oh, that's kind of cool. But if you're a painter like me, you're like, man, those figures aren't very good. And I've gotten Essex figures, and some of my best work is with Essex figures. But you got to have, they are a bit of a blank canvas. My Dracula's army is all Essex figures. I think it's all Essex figures. My Irish is almost all Essex figures. Man, I love my Irish figures. O'Doggo and Company. So, I don't know if that was helpful. But now that you mention it, I would say if it only shows two poses, it probably only comes at two poses. There's a chance there might be a third, but it's not likely that anybody that shows very limited poses has lots of poses. They just got lazy and didn't show them. And I don't know why somebody went and put some packs with 12 different poses and some packs with 2. Other than maybe they were rushed when it was time to do sculpting things. But as a general rule, I like Old Glory. They're almost always cast in metal that is hard, right? It has a pewter content, so it's not like you just touch them and they bend over. Or they got these flimsy ass spears. Now, some of their spears are weird. Some of their spears are instead of being round, they're like rough hewn, almost like, oh, let me take that branch off this pine tree and turn it into a spear. They look okay, but that is something to keep in mind. And then there's some that almost look like they're squat. So it's almost like it's a spear that's more like a 2x4. So it's not, I'm exaggerating it, but instead of it being round, the cross section of it, it's It's more oblong. And the oblongness might be, we're looking at the, not, when you get in there and look at it. But you could just replace them with pins, which is probably what I would do now, because then you don't have to worry about them at all. They have decent sized hands, okay? So they have hands that are girthy enough that you can drill the pins in. They're really good about that, as opposed to if you wanted to do that with, like, I don't know, minifigs. Minifigs is not a good one to drill hands in. They tend to have very small hands. I like minifigs, but minifigs is you're going to have one pose for each one. But, I don't mind mixing them in and stuff like that. Thanks for the expertise. Yeah, you got to keep that lubricated, or I'm going to forget, But I like Old Glory. And I actually bought the Old Glory figures when they were 50 figure packs. So when I bought my Spanish Norman, infantry, my crossbowman, my Spanish crossbowman for my El Cid's army, I think I needed 8 figures, and I bought a pack of 50. That stuff doesn't bother me. Okay, it would drive my buddy Jeff bananas. He has like this. He thinks he's going to get cancer if he has extra figures or something like that. And I'm like, look, if I'm going to spend 4 hours painting a figure, I want to paint who I want to paint. Okay? So that's important for me. And my big gripe with Essex is that you buy these figure packs and they get to pick what variety they put them in. And they may give you guys that look all the same when you want them to look different. And they make the variety of them. They just decided not to give them to you, because the person who puts army packs together doesn't give a shit. So I'd rather buy the individual packs individually. I don't mind having extra figures. It comes in handy. It can come in handy. Thank you. So I have no problem having extra figures. And I was just thinking, I don't have no problem buying junk. I've got a lot of these things that are just junk. It's come in handy. I wouldn't have been able to finish those 2 T-34s if I didn't have junk, I was watching the Wimp Wars Collision Course live video, and Mitch asked you what the worst tank of World War II. Guess your answer? No, I don't know. Wimp Wars Collision Course live video. Well, it's not live now. What the worst tank of World War II was. Do I guess my answer? I don't know. Is it different than I thought? Worst tank per country. I have to break it down per country. I don't know. What did I say? The T-35? I don't know that it'd be the worst tank, but yeah, it's got a lot of things going wrong for it. Its size isn't, its size is a problem. I wouldn't say it's the worst tank. There's a lot of things that the Russians are bad at. Giving a shit about their troops, training, maintenance on their vehicles, spare parts for their vehicles. Some of these things are common to the Germans as well. Quality control on pieces being made correctly. There was a problem with these. I was reading about the T-35s. There was a problem where they had to, so many pieces, they were no good. They had one of these tanks that the spec was supposed to have plates that were 20 millimeters thick, and they came out 23 millimeter, and they're like, fuck it, they put them on there. So it added even more weight on the transmission and stuff on it. No radios. Communism. Communism's never a good thing. Those are all, really bad things that the Soviets had to deal with. But probably the biggest one is not giving a shit about your guys. Not caring, just throwing stuff out there, and if you kill them, well, it's just human bowels to be expended, and that's why it's also always really hard for me to kind of see the Japanese viewpoint, because being expendable just doesn't make sense. You want guys to pick easy fights. You know, it's kind of like when you play. It's like when you play Rome Total War or Medieval Total War, right? You got these guys, like when I was playing the Spanish in Medieval Total War, you got these guys that are the jinetes. You know, your light cavalry, basically with no armor, no impact weapons. They have javelins. Well, they're going to get massacred. So what do you do? Okay? What do you do with these light troops that are going to be massacred? You keep them off on the flank and make sure nobody engages in anything, right? Because they don't have a lot of ammunition. They don't have a really powerful punch. They're skittish. They don't have experience. They're not going to survive. You know, if you go into a battle and half of them get killed, half of them get experience, but you have to replace them with half of them new, now you got basically an unexperienced unit again. Rinse and repeat. Same problem over and over again. So I would do is I'd keep them off on a flank. Like they'd come after them, I'd play keep away with them. And then somehow, something would go wrong on their battle, on the enemy, and the enemy would crumble. And that's when you unleash the hounds. And you just come in there and just chop them to bits. So, you know, you want guys that aren't experienced to go out and fight things that are easy pickings to get experience. You know, you don't want to send guys that are unexperienced fighting veteran troops. They're never going to survive. And you're just basically you're basically kicking them down that hole like they have in Sparta. This is Sparta. Get out of here. You know, you're gone. You're throwing all your resources away. Might as well not even give them rifles or uniforms or anything like that. Just see a T7, a 1/72nd scale of the Tsar tank. ¿Qué es eso? Bob Semple. I don't know if that counts as a tank. Jeffrey, you and I can make something look better. That's like a boxcar derby thing. Like, what do they call that place? What was the thing that they play in the African nation kind of stuff, where you've got those huts that are basically made out of corrugated metal? There's a name for them. There's a name for it, and you know immediately. Well, that's what it is. They built a tank. Those guys that live in those slums built a tank. Tsar tank. What the heck is that? Only thing I know Tsar tank is. Oh. What? Oh, this is garbage. Netopir, which stands for Pipistrellus, the genus of a bat. This thing looks like a violated bicycle. God, that thing's ugly. It takes 20 years for the full production line to become a soldier from scratch. It's a lot less time and effort from mine to battlefield to make equipment. Reduced to 12 if you're using a Utes. It's Utes. 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 The Utes. That's from my cousin Vinny. The Utes. How would they spell it in that? Probably Yutes. Utes. Two Utes. The Utes. Tsar tank. That looks like those creatures I had to fight in Half-Life 2, which I never finished. I never finished Half-Life 2. Too late to play it now. It looks like ass. Freeman. Two Utes. Yeah, I welcome figure questions. I welcome figure questions. I got I was looking through the figures the other day and I got some Eschi US infantry in their awkward poses that I ended up grabbing from that pack that was in somebody's attic. I think there's some value in them. Some of them might paint and be all right, but those rifles are really, really thin. Nissen huts. Quonset huts. Yeah. Yeah, what's the thing that I'm talking about? Something shanty time. What's the word called? Something shanty, isn't it? Isn't that what it's called? Shantytown. Shantytown. Yeah, it's like made out of a shantytown. That was what? That was an Australian thing that they used in case the Japanese were coming? Well, I got news for you. That might actually stand a chance against some Japanese tanks. A Matilda 1's pretty damn ugly, but we were talking about the worst tank. I said the T-30. What did Mitch say was the worst tank? Didn't we have one of those shows that we talked about World War II aircraft? And Mitch didn't know shit about World War. I feel like I don't know anything about World War II aircraft, but I guess I do. Speaking of World War II aircraft, I had downloaded War Thunder on the Xbox a while ago, and man, I'm freaking itchy. And I downloaded War Thunder on the Xbox and can't fly my way out of a paper bag in that. So yesterday, I think it was yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, I got it on the computer. And flying with a mouse. So there's something wrong with the controller for the computer because like I'm generally, I may not be an ace, but I don't crash into the damn ground all the time, right? Like I've played a lot of flight simulators or that type of stuff. You know, I can use rudder and things like that. Like I'm not handicapped. I pull up War Thunder and on the computer, and not only I go from not being able to shoot a single plane down to the first time I play on the computer, I'm the highest scoring person on the side. I'm like, okay, there's obviously something wrong with the console. Just like it's impossible to open those locks in that medieval game. I can't open I've never opened a lock in any of those games. You know, so he didn't say, but he wanted a Jagdpanther to go up at the T-35. You sure? I don't know. Is he one of those people that doesn't like Shermans, that think Shermans are a piece of crap? I don't think Shermans are a piece of crap. I used to think they were uglier than they are. They're actually not that ugly. They lack imagination with the way that they're painted most of the time. And honestly, I think Shermans are kind of cute. There's some lines on the Sherman just make you go, oh. I don't know. There's just something about them. I like them. Yeah, it's a shame that they didn't get painted more excitingly, you know, but But like in Tunisia, Shermans are better tanks than what the Germans have. I mean, it's not even close. I mean, a Panzer IV-G can hold its own, but it's got mechanical and reliability issues, and you know, it doesn't have better armor than a Sherman. Its gun is a little better, a little bit. You know, they just decided not to like, oh, there's these tanks called Tigers. Oh, well, let's upgrade all of our tanks or half of them to be able to fight them. They just didn't do that. They're like, we're going to build a shitload of Shermans. We start tinkering with things. We can't get very many tanks out. So, and still, what floors me is how many aircraft Britain built. Because Britain was basically like, yeah, let me speak for Britain. Like, fine, we'll just use Shermans. They're decent enough. We're going to build our own damn aircraft. They just built a shitload of aircraft. Obviously, it was the right move. Well, my daughter's supposed to fly from Belgium tomorrow. I'm sorry, day after tomorrow. And tomorrow they're shutting the entire country down because they're having protests. So let's just say I'm not going to have to worry about my daughter like going off and burning her bra and being in one of these protests. And hopefully she can leave the following day, and not because I think it's affecting air travel too. Yeah, that shit doesn't fly here in the U.S. Maybe in one of the northern shithole cities, but you're allowed to protest. You can't just shut everything down just because you don't want to go to work or something. I know it's deeper than that, but I'm just saying that that stuff doesn't happen here. It doesn't happen here in the South. Let's put it that way. I remember reading stuff that in Britain in World War II, I don't know how often it happened, but there'd be a ship that would come in from convoy or something like that, or an action and needed to be repaired, and the whole dockyard's on strike. Like they won't even repair the friggin' ship. Like, dude, you're in a war against the fucking Nazis, and and you're having a strike. Like, at least have a protest when you're not having to eat beans and toast. The Nazis. I don't think I've ever had a Jagd Panther. I never had a Jagd Panther in micro armor. I never built a 135th scale one. I don't have one in 172nd. It's an attractive vehicle. that's the one that goes with this one. This is for the other tank. All right. Let's put all these pieces together and see what we got. Let's see what we're looking like. Oh no. Get your happy ass out of here. Where is the Exactamundo? It's over here in the... Open this up. Actually, I think a fair fight for the T-35 probably would be the Fahrzeug. The Commander did have, the turret did have a turret basket in it. And actually, if this hull wasn't so built up, I could modify one of these and make an Su-14 out of it. Because an Su-14 used the hull of this. Su-14's ugly. Really ugly. I don't remember what artillery piece is in it. I don't know that it's a 203. It's a pretty big artillery piece. And I think one of them was in action around Moscow, if I remember correctly. Or they said. I still don't have any Lend-Lease vehicles for the Soviets. I'm in no hurry to give them any. I'm in no hurry to give them any. Nope, not chocolate brown. SS Camel Black. Little bit of tracks here. What time is it? Yeah, we're gonna have to stop in a little while. We got TV to watch. Little bit. Trying to mix it up. Everybody wins when you mix it up. Yeah, Jeffrey, you tagged me in that picture. That's the very first thing I noticed. What's this A13s with Crusader 3s? Come on, man. I can't fall for that. I know, tank nerd. Not every tank, but ones that I've freaking done research on. Alright, we need... A Crusader's the only tank that I can think of that is as they progressed, it got upgunned, and it lost crew members. It lost crew members because the Crusader 1 is a 5-person tank. The Crusader 2 is a 4-person tank, and the Crusader 3 is a 3-person tank. That's unusual. Not saying it didn't happen with other vehicles, but it is very unusual. Well, there's no show tomorrow. Well, there's no show here tomorrow. Let me quantify it that way. There's no show here tomorrow. I think. I got model meeting, and then afterwards I'm gonna stop by the Mitch house. I was gonna go there to play a game, and then like, really, you're gonna run the game the same day the model meeting's on. I'm like, well, I guess I'll just show up late and come hang out. And this is where I'm gonna stop, because this thing is, as you can see, I don't know if you can see it on here. This is not weathered at all. This green is just, it's just like if they had a showroom finish and we just let it get bleached by the sun a little bit. This is what you would end up with. But we want it dirty and that kind of stuff on there. So, but this is where we'll pick up in the morning, and we will see you guys on the next one.